Well, today's episode is going to be great. The garden in July, a full tour. Make sure you stick around till the end because 4 days of growth after a rain is incredible this time of year. Join me. Well, it's July and I am going to give you a full garden tour. I'm entering from a different angle than I normally enter. And everything, as you can see, is very, very lush. The urns are doing very well and I need to make pesto pronto. So where shall we start? Let's start where we typically start in these beds. The onions are doing great. Those are some ruby red. The Walla Wallas are getting big. I wish more of them would have germinated. There's some lemon basil behind that, and the two Anaheims are over the top of the obelisk. Crazy. And some dill that I planted early is now bolted, and the bees are really loving that. Little lavender and alyssum. These are Kalima beans. They're doing great. Those were suggested by Audrey over at Real Food Comes Dirty. There's a little patch of a second succession of carrots. That's the Dr. White Cheese yellow. Oh my goodness, is he happy. These are my Patterson onions. They're doing marvelously. These are the ones I love for their long storage capabilities. And I planted in some wax beans, some top notch, and only one survived, as you can see. So I've seeded some more and I've put some leaf mulch on the top. It is going to be in the 90s today. I wonder what the feel like temperature is. I'll put it on the screen. My borlados have made it to the top and they have begun flowering. So I'm excited about that. See those little urns? It's mostly herbs this year. Caruto shin carrots in this urn. Dill ducat in this one, and it is loaded with pollinators. Curly parsley in this one. Genovese basil and bunching onions in this one. Common thyme in this one. Chives in that one, and needs something in it in that one. We're now on the back side of the borlados. Again, you can see they're just heavy with vines, so I'm excited about that. And this is the chard patch, and I don't know about you, but I just love chard. So does Al. And it is a green that just keeps giving and giving and giving and goes right on through the summer without any problem and into the cool weather. It's amazing. So these are three of the tomatoes from this side. Let me step back. As you can see, all three of them are doing well. They're all indeterminates. I have trimmed the bottom up for airflow, and I'll trim a little bit here and there now, but you know, I don't like to take away all those little solar panels because I get more fruit and bigger production if I don't, you know, trim away all of the leaves. And then here's the Kalimas from the other side. I am not sure which variety of onion that is, but it is doing well. Again, this is my favorite basil. It's called the Lemon Drop by Burpee. It is tasty. Now we're coming at the center bed, the circle that has the big obelisk, which will have the butternut, which is doing really well in there, but It's kind of being crowded out by these marigolds. If you remember, this is the bed I had the problem and had to do the biofumigation on the root knot nematodes. So the marigolds were part of that. I've cut the front ones down with a good trim once. I think I'm gonna have to do something a little bit more drastic though, because I want the butternut. At the front of the backstone bed, I've got a grouping of different types of flowers. There's bachelor button and salvia. There's snapdragon and marigolds. And everybody is doing well. There is my lone survivor yin yang bean. At this point, I think I'm just gonna see if I can't get seed off of it and try again next year. Some zinnia. These are the Badger Flame beets. They're from row 7. And let's get down in there and have a look. Oh yeah, see? That is just about ready to pick within a week or so. And my carrots, we've been picking right along, and they are marvelous. Actually kind of nicely sweet. It's the bolero for the middle of summer. More onions. Those are some Spanish. These are green onions, and some Mercurian leeks that I just transplanted a couple of days ago. They were pretty mature to be transplanted, but they're sulking because we're all sulking in this heat. The sweet garlic I've decided to just leave. It is almost up to size to eat. And then behind it were some that I had left from last year in order to save seed from. This is a red of Florence, or a red wing. I'm not remembering which type, but it's a red one and it's doing well. This is celery, and then those are the Kelsey onions. Allie had got me those seeds. I had wanted them in particular because they're supposed to get very, very large. And true to form, that's what they're doing, getting nice. Now, next to those Kelsey onions, I have dragon tongue bush beans. We love those. They are very tasty. And we have some King Richard and some American flags, which they're just not coming to anything. But the King Richards I will plant out as soon as I have room. These are King Richards that I let go to seed from last year, and they have almost reached their absolutely fabulous gloriousness. They're just about there, maybe a week or less than a week. Check out the busy bees. Just look, there's all kinds of little, big, and in between pollinators on there. Here is another patch of celery. I've done 2 kinds this year, Tango and Utah Tall. Underneath this shade cloth is lettuce. I don't know if you can see down in there. Took the shade cloth off so you could see that lettuce underneath. And as you can see, it's in trouble. I can't decide if it's getting leggy because it has 50% shade, time of year, or whatever. But I think I'm gonna leave it off for a few days and see what happens. Worst that happens is it bolts, and we're used to that this time of year. This is the Amish sherbet. I've never had that one before, and the Lucid Gem, which was the winner of our taste test last year. And some more basil. This one is the one that's supposed to be the super large leaf. Guess what? It didn't get the memo. And around here, I planted some summertime lettuce. So far, no germination. I think it just isn't happy. Some more basil. This is Genovese. This is my trio of cherry tomatoes. That is mango apricot, chocolate cherry, and pink champagne. Can't wait, can't wait. And there's those beautiful leeks from the other side. What a statement in the garden. This is my Tim's Taste of Paradise. It's a repeat from last year and probably will always be on the menu because it is like Sun Gold, smaller and doesn't split on us. And there's those dragon tongue beans from the other side. This is a Principe Borghese. That's an Italian one. Good for drying. Summer of Love, another one I am very excited to try. Can't wait. The Castelluto Genovese. Now last year, this was my first large tomato to fruit and that we could eat that changed color. So we'll see. And there's a patch of celeriac, and this is the Cherokee Carbon. Now my tomatoes are happy. And I think I am attributing it to putting those alfalfa pellets under the fall compost because everything has just got amazing growth. These are some Spanish white onions, and then lemon verbena and parsley and some oregano that's going to seed. And these are two kinds of beets in there, Chioggia and golden. And they're getting close. Now let's look at the birdie's beds. Well, you can see my little spinner there isn't spinning much because it is hot and no wind. But this little montage of pots are doing very, very well. Loving everything that I got going on in here. All for different reasons. The blueberries that we pulled out are very, very happy. I'm so pleased about that worked out. This is great. Hey, if you know what this is, drop it in the comments below because it was just in one of those mixes and I have no idea what it is. This is a tomato that was left over and I just couldn't euthanize it. It was a Manitoba, and look at that thing. It is loaded with fruit, and it's starting to turn. This Manitoba is starting to color up. It's fair game now for the squirrels. I don't really want to net it, and we think we're going to move it. Yeah, let's move it. We'll put it in that circle where the grass is failing, where we took that little patch out, hey? Yeah, let's try that. This is the landing pad that we've decided on for moving this tomato. This is a little circle that we grew in for many years, and we decided that it was one little patch too many. So we were trying to get grass to grow. And it did, but the extreme heat we couldn't stay ahead of the watering to keep it alive. Now to build a cage. Got some foam wire, got some twisty tie wire, got some green chicken wire and some poles, and we're going to build us a squirrel defender. Sort of envy people that don't have all the squirrel issues because it's so much easier. At least this is a determinate, so it's theoretically going to fruit up all at once. And there we go, squirrel defender. Next to that, I took out the Pixie cabbage. Let me insert some footage about that right now. It's been 6 days since we were in our garden. We've been up in Wisconsin, came back, and there is a cabbage to harvest. Check this out. That monster is the one called Pixie. It feels nice and big, and we're going to go in there and get it out. Oh, there I can see it. Oh, buddy. Well, that knife is getting me nowhere. I'm going to just do one of those. Oh, goodness. Okay, it's free. Okay. How about that? Now that is a cabbage. Woohoo! Let me go set it in the grass. Now that's a Pixie cabbage. Oh my God, I want to weigh that. All right, let's get this baby weighed. All right, it's 6 pounds, 5.4 ounces. Whew, that's a monster. This is the other Pixie cabbage. And I don't know if you can see it, but it has 3 heads, or I believe it has 3 heads forming on it. That's crazy. And that's a red acre. This bed has 2 tomatoes. The first one is an Anna S. Noir, and the second one is a Alice's Dream. Both are very, very happy. Around it I stuck leftover shallots and onions. And there was a leftover chard that got stuck in there, and it's holding its own best it can in the shade. And these are my Socrates cucumbers. They are an amazing cucumber. The flavor is good, and they put up with a lot. Now, I have a terrible problem with the cucumber beetle. So I won't be out until tonight to pick these because I don't want to release that smell. I believe it's called cucurbitacin. Here in the back bed on the big trellis, there's Kentucky Wonder, Borlato, and Vortex beans. This is another Manitoba, and it also has fruit in big clusters, just like the one in the pot. It's a determinant. Those are Kennebecs, and I'm thinking of actually taking some out because of airflow. And on the other side is the Heinz 1350, another determinant. In front here, well, I'm back from a short break because the camera and I had to cool off. I got the overheating signal. This round bed has 2 cushaw squash. These are the ones that can get like up to 15 pounds. Big, striped, gorgeous things. So I'm letting it drip out this side and that side, and I might have to rig something up. The pepper bed is doing tremendously. The jalapenos are coming nicely. There's 3 of them because my intent is to have plenty of cowboy candy. They are just looking gorgeous. This is the Elma paprika. Behind that is the Hungarian wax paprika. This one that is variegated, now is that not just the coolest looking leaves, is called Patchwork. Allie sent me this one. There's one of the fruits. The fruit's also bicolor as well. Oh, there we go. We can get a better look that way. Now, this is a Joe's Long Cayenne. There are 2 of those plants, and that's for the allotment of the Dead's longest chili challenge. Next to that are the Corono de Toro. This is Al's favorite pepper. Much better than last year when we bought one at the nursery and it wasn't what it was marked. And on the end here we have two Jimmy Nardellos, and they are not disappointing. I actually left the blossoms on when, you're encouraged to take them off, and I am not sad about that. Now leaving that pepper bed, this bed has two tomatoes, the Santiam Sunrise, gorgeous cherry tomato. Steve sent me those Digwell Green Fingers. And that is the, what are you? Oh, the Copper River. Allie sent me this one. I've been hanging onto the seeds for a couple of years. This is the year. Doing very well. Variety of stevia at the end, sage, rosemary, and then of course my very favorite herb on the planet, lemon thyme. Now, this is a arch. If you've seen my videos before that, an arching piece of the cement wire. It's called ladder mesh, and I've got 3 or 4 beans barlados on each side of that coming at it towards the middle, and you can't even see that it's an arch anymore because the beans are so happy and thick on here. Now this frontmost bed, as you would enter, it's got marigolds and calendula, and that is a Purple Heart dwarf, and it is a semi-determinant, but like a lot of things in my garden this year, it did not get the memo. I'm not unhappy about it because it is loaded with all kinds of fruits in there, and it is doing marvelously. Let's head into the fruit area. You can see we've got our cage up now to protect those blackberries from the birds, and I got some little foily things. Sometimes I use CDs, but anything to keep the birds from flying into it. But on this side we have the black satin, and as you can see, it is loaded. Oh, marvelous. Marvelous. I just cannot wait to start harvesting those. And on this side, usually about 2 weeks later, this one will start harvesting, and this is Chester. And Chester is also loaded with fruit. So I never get tired of this. Honestly, I never get tired of the excitement of this. Here behind the blackberries are potatoes. That's a Kennebec and a Pinto Gold. And this is the Clancy. The Clancy is the one that was done from actual seed and not a seed potato. There's lemon balm, the 2 rhubarbs, the mint that was moved from the cinder black beds when we replaced them with the birdie beds, and this is chive. Over here is just some leftover flowers that made into a little urn, a couple of different kinds of mint surrounding this cucumber. Now this cucumber has a very anemic looking color to it. I gave it 2 successions of fertilizer, and we'll see if it comes around, but oddly enough it's been fruiting up and flowering in spite of the fact that it looks so anemic. In this fruit cage I have the 2 new haskaps or honeyberries at this end, and a variety of strawberries and blueberries, and those look like they are just about ready to pick, and that I need to get in there and do that. Yum. This is one of those DIY dollar store towers. The roses are doing grand, and oh, the smell is yummy. Need to find something to put in that empty pot. The finished up cherries, and I did move the 2 potatoes for the single seed potato challenge. This is Sir Speedy and the offspring of Sir Speedy. Both are doing very well, but it was getting a little crowded over there in the potato area. These are 2 gooseberries, and we had some on there, but someone else got them. Now, around the gooseberries are volunteer Chester blackberries, and for right now I'm leaving them because we are thinking of making another little thornless blackberry patch. And again, another DIY dollar store tower. On this side is the Montauk daisy that comes into its own this fall. 2 currant bushes, both of them fruited. It's their 2nd year, and the big cherry, of course, is done at this point, but is very healthy. Well, my patio needs some work, but this is a second Dr. White Cheese Yellow that I just couldn't euthanize, so I potted it up and it's doing nicely and fruiting, so yeehaw. And then this is the new green stalk. I haven't quite got the system figured out yet. It seems like a really heavy feeder in that the nutrients seem to wash through pretty rapidly. So I need to be more than I'm used to. My other little towers don't run out of nutrients as fast as this one seems to. Those little tumbler tomatoes were the first things to ripen. As a matter of fact, the only thing that's ripened as far as tomatoes. And it's honestly, they're like eating a store-bought tomato. That's what the flavor's like. But hey, they were early and we had tomatoes, so we'd have been buying them from the grocery store anyways. These are at least homegrown organic. This is also a Space Master cucumber and needs to get picked. Again, I'll pick them this evening when the sun goes down, hopefully to prevent the cucumber beetle from noticing. Days and 2 rain showers totaling 3+ inches of rain later, and the cushaw has exploded, and we did rig up something to keep it up off the gravel. We used some wooden trellises that we had in the shed and brick to keep that up off the ground, and look at how much it has grown in 4 days. We did that on the other side as well. Another wooden trellis. Is that not crazy growth? I did end up taking those Kennebecs out for airflow here, and we shored up these 2 tomato cages and cleaned them out a little bit and got some more airflow going. But they're looking marvelous. Just to show you 4 days later, look at those Corono de Toro. Are those not wild? Look at how huge they are. They've grown like 3 inches. And I had done a harvest 4 days ago of these 2 Jimmy Nardellos at the end. And these were pretty baby green Jimmies. And look at how big they are now again. Is that not crazy? Look at how many too. How exciting is that? We trimmed down those Naughty Marietta marigolds, and look at those butternuts. The growth that has happened since we did it, and this is literally 4 days later. Is that not crazy? Amazing. Really like the fact that we opened this area up. And just 4 days later, there are blushing tomatoes all over the place. This is when it really, really gets exciting. Looking forward to those future harvests. "4 days of growth. Amazing. Actually mind-blowing for me. Remember, sometimes the only thing we harvest is knowledge, and that's okay. Bye for now. We'll see you on the next one."